everyone, and welcome to this week's DSS break. It's great to have all of you with us today. We're here live every other week to discuss the world of data science, AI, and machine learning, to chat with you about unique experiences and best practices with leading data professionals in a 15-minute break. I'm Anna, the founder of Data Science Salon, and today I'm streaming live from our headquarters, which is really close in the heart of Miami, right next to the design district. And today I'm joined by Kevin Haynes. He's the program manager at Nordstrom. And Kevin is a very versatile and seasoned data professional. It stands out as a data generalist leader. He's also a cyclist and a dog dad. And he brings a very unique blend of expertise from his roles as an analyst, engineer, and a leader, coupled with a passion for cultivating team cultures that are both impactful and also fun, which is very important, I think. And Kevin will share his insights about eat your own dog food and building culture of measurement of data products, a topic where he explores the critical importance of internal metrics and measurement in driving data product success. Thank you so much for joining us for this DSS break, Kevin. It's so nice to have you here.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. Happy to be here.
Well, let's go ahead and dive right in. Could you walk us through your journey in data science and how it has shaped your current role where you're at today at Nordstrom?
Yeah, it's been a fairly non-linear career, and I think as I talk to more and more people who are this deep into it, that tends to be the trend. When I started out as an analyst, I had never heard of data science. This was about, I guess, 11 years ago. And it's crazy how much has changed in that time. I've held a bunch of roles of varying responsibility, and really, I think the main thing that I've taken through into this current role is just being ready to roll with all that change. And I think, like I said, we've seen a lot of change in our space, and it's only going to get crazier over the next few years. So yeah, just being really change resistant, accepting that things aren't linear. And I think having been at Nordstrom for most of my career, really focused on people and relationships, and that being the key to success.
Cool. No, that's a really good point there. And my next question was about the eating your own dog food part, and what inspired you to really kind of put this together in context of data products and being a dog dad and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I had to go with a dog pun. Anyone who knows me will not be surprised by that. In terms of trying to measure data products, I've, to be perfectly honest, at first it was just a thing that I was assigned to work on. But as I got into it, it's interesting to think about, as professionals who are experts at measuring things, how infrequently we kind of turn that measurement on ourselves. And that's really the pun of eat your own dog food. Like we all get paid to measure businesses. And very rarely do we think like, okay, what is our impact? How do we get better? Like what is the value of the things we deliver? And setting that up in a way that you're constantly looking at it. I've found that it really helps people understand their value in the business, and not as people, because our jobs don't define our value, but like the work that we do, how is it valuable? How is it impactful? And that really can increase satisfaction on data teams.
Right. No, that's a really good point. And implementing a culture of measurement, what are some key metrics that you should focus on?
I think what we've found to be successful, and we've been iterating on this for a while now, is to start with first you need a list of the data products that your team supports, like, and whatever granularity makes sense for that measurement. But once you have that, knowing like what is the business metric? What is the thing that I'm trying to move the needle on with this product? So really focusing on like, what is the output? What is the purpose? So if it's a model that helps with positioning inventory or something in supply chain, like looking at outputs about the effectiveness of the company's supply chain. That's where you want to start, and then think about what are the levers that I have to pull on my products. Like what are the things that I can control that hopefully lead to those outputs. It's really easy to get in the weeds, and I think the thing that I would recommend is just starting simple. You know, there's this notion of exotic metrics, like what is the most accurate way that I can measure something, and it often ends up being really, really hard to build that metric, and especially in a way that is not super time consuming and manual. So starting with something simple, I think if I improve the error on my model, it should improve the business metric that I'm trying to move. That's a great place to start. Instead of saying like, how do I get to the most accurate, granular measurement of my impact? I think just starting with something is better than obsessing over something exotic. Done is better than perfect is kind of my motto that I stole from one of my mentors. But
I like that. Done is better than perfect. That's a really good one. Thanks for sharing that, Kevin. And I think I think you kind of brought up a challenge already, that people want these exotic things, right? Or metrics. What is that one of the challenges? There are more challenges than that, I'm sure, that you face while you're building this culture. And I'm sure it's probably different at a company your size versus like at a smaller company, right? Where you have only a handful of data scientists on your team.
For sure. Yeah. I think the biggest challenge with anything like this is competing priorities, especially in a business the size of Nordstrom. You know, we have 100 something data scientists just on our central team. So there's a lot that we are tasked with doing. There are a lot of things that Nordstrom relies on us for. And it's hard to prioritize this kind of continuous improvement, internal facing stuff amongst those priorities. So I think it's one of those things to allow yourself some grace, you know, like it is something important to measure your impact, but it is something that might have to drop in priority once in a while. And I think what we found on our team is that by starting to do this, in some scenarios we had to kind of drag ourselves through it, while, you know, other things may have been a shinier object. By dragging ourselves through this measurement, we found that it's actually valuable to us, especially as a leadership team, to be able to talk about the impact that our products are having.
Awesome. No, thank you so much for answering that question. And could you share an example where a specific measurement strategy led to a significant improvement into something? Because I know that you mentioned 100 data scientists. I'm sure there's like 1,000 projects. Is there something that stands out? Yeah,
certainly. You know, we have one product that is kind of in the it's one of our more customer facing products, right? It is built to catch fraud as quickly as possible in a certain part of the customer experience, and that's one of the things that we've been monitoring through this measurement process for a while. And I think what's been really good about it is that, we could look at just the profit that we've saved the company through the use of this product, but we also added in customer metrics. So to what rate are we insulting customers that by flagging them as fraud when it wasn't, or how many of these claims are we denying? It's focused both on like the business and revenue side, which is important because we are a for-profit business, but it's also making sure that we keep an eye on the customer,
right,
and not damaging that customer relationship with the people who are not defrauding us, which is the vast majority of our customers.
Right.
it's really important to take that lens, and it's allowed us to iterate on the weights of that product and say like, all right, if we push a little bit here, what do we see that do to our customer? And by making sure that that is paramount and also next to the profit, it's better than just saying like, okay, we're just going to make money and not care about how that may affect the people that keep us in business.
Well, that's good to hear that you guys care about
We do.
the people. No, I think that's why the company's been around for so long and still growing, right? So
Yes. Yeah. Coming up on 123 years this year.
that's cool. That's really cool. And as a leader, how do you like you mentioned, a little bit about having fun and also being impactful. How do you kind of do that and keep a still good team environment where people don't slack off and have too much fun?
I mean, I think that they're actually intrinsically linked. I think people, especially folks that are high performers, right? The people that really put the rubber to the road. People want to have an impact. None of us are doing this because it's a hobby, right? It matters to people to have an impact on the business and know that the work they're doing is valuable. If you can trim away the layers that people have between the work that they're sitting down and doing and seeing that impact, that increases satisfaction. You're letting people see not just, oh, I did the thing I was asked to do, but I built this and it changed the company. It changed the customer experience. It changed how we route product. Like that is what makes it fun to come to work. Obviously, Nerf fights are fun too. It's fun, but that's not why people come to work. And I think the more we can do to trim some of the bloat and let people really see what they're doing, it makes it fun. The last time I was a manager, I used to always tell my team, if you're assigned to do a thing, whether I'm the one who assigned it or a program manager or something, and you can't tell me what it does for Nordstrom's customer walking into the store, then I don't want you to work on it. It is only important if you know the impact you're having. And I've found that really helped teams come together and rally around problems.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think that is important to actually understand what you're working on and all of that, right? That, as you said, that makes it more fun and impactful if you actually shop there yourself too, right?
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
which I'm sure everybody does, since I'm sure all of you guys get a discount there.
We do. We do.
Yeah.
We also work shifts in the stores during critical times, so we can understand what it's like to serve customers as well.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's cool. That's all about culture. It sounds like, again, going back to that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about you. How do you usually stay ahead of the curve in terms of adopting new tech and methodologies? Like, where do you go to read about stuff, or, conferences, podcasts, things like that? Or what do you like? How do you keep up? Because there's, as you said, there's a lot of things that have happened in the last 11 years. And
yeah. It's, I think, for me, kind of structured learning is what tends to work best. Whether that's, going through a certificate program or even a YouTube series. Like, I think generally whatever works for the individual as a learner, there are all kinds of options out there. I tend to have to back myself into a lesson, some sort of structure, or else I kind of flail in a bunch of different directions. So, Medium is great for reading articles that are, digestible, instead of textbooks. I also lean on my peers and mentors and mentees a lot for learning things. We're all busy, and it helps if you can just talk to someone about something interesting they're working on. One of my closest mentors it's astounding the amount of information that he can take in and do something with. And so I definitely sponge from others as well. But like you said, there are a lot of options out there in terms of ways to learn right now, especially in our space.
yeah, a lot more than there were in the beginning, for sure.
Totally.
And for those that are starting their careers in data, whatever data management, data science analysts, or even leadership roles, what advice would you give them based on your experience so far, being in the industry for so long?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I tell people is that you need to take control of your career and the path that it's on. Having a good manager goes a long way, but if you're in the driver's seat, it matters less about how good that manager is. You need to decide what you want to do, even if that changes. Like I said, I've had a very nonlinear career. What I wanted to do 8 years ago is not what I'm doing now. I've changed my path many times, but it has been my path and my choices. I also think it's really important to find mentors who are not your direct managers, not in your management chain. People that you want to be like in some way. It doesn't have to be technical. This applies to life as well, but people that you can learn from both stylistically and technically, and also appreciate the fact that they're going to learn from you. I think mentorships are 360 degrees. Like I enjoy mentoring people because of the perspectives that I get that are different from doing that. So mentorship is really important. And then there's this weird balance of humility and confidence that we all need to play, that I think gets easier over time, but never easy. Like I said, you have to take control of your own career, which requires the confidence to define it. But then you also need to be humble and asking for help and getting mentors and telling your manager, this is what I need to do. How do I get there? And being able to take the feedback on the things that you need to do. It is a hard line to walk. But I think it really is about ownership and taking care of yourself. The rest of the things will fall into place.
Cool. No, that's really great advice. Thank you so much, Kevin. Mentorship, yeah, I believe greatly in that myself. So 100% agreed, and everybody needs to get. Are you still taking mentors and such, or are you like, how do you, yeah. So if I, I'm sure there might be people reaching out to you about that. So after the show.
I'd be ready for it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today, Kevin, and for sharing all your wonderful experience with the audience. It's a pleasure to have you, and I'm really excited to meet you in person next week. You're going to be joining us on the panel about revolutionizing retail, the future of Gen AI and ML for e-commerce and retail in person, which I'm really excited. It's our first event of the year and should be a really good one. So yeah, and I hope to see you guys there. And also, if you can't make it, you can watch everything on demand, and you can actually apply to attend. We'll share a link with everybody shortly in the comments. And I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of the week. Thanks for joining us. Thanks again, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.